Hello, my name is Caitlin Kenzie, and this is my video presentation entitled Russia and the West, a brief look at tense relations. Here I have the logistics and video description. The video description is also included in the information box at the bottom of the video. Since the rise of the USSR in 1922, the US and it have been at odds ideologically due to their differing political systems, socialism and capitalism, and this one difference has been the main cause for tensions throughout the years. The divisiveness and disagreement of these two nations was once not so noticeable, however. Before the beginnings of the USSR, a large famine broke out. With many millions of lives at stake, the US stepped in and lent aid, and the area of the USSR thankfully accepted. After this, and after the establishment of the USSR in 1922, US businessmen saw opportunity for profit and made ties with the country. In around the 1930s, however, relations started to become strained, views of socialism became more pronounced, and the USSR's squashing of capitalistic views and ties in its country occurred. The USSR continued socialistic expansions across Europe and became the West's greatest enemy. This changed, however, when Nazi Germany appeared. Moving faster and causing much more destruction, the US saw it as the great threat it was and focused its energy on curbing their efforts at world domination instead of focusing on the USSR. However, the USSR came into play when, attacked by Germany, it accepted help from the US to fight back. They joined an alliance, setting aside their ongoing tensions, and it is thought that without this, the World War could have been longer and bleaker. With the Nazi threat eliminated, tensions that were set aside were again put at the forefront as reconstruction of Europe began. The USSR controlled more land in Europe, allowing for a potential increase in the spread of communism. Meanwhile, the US was making many allies at the borders of these new USSR territories. The two politically different ways of life were in close contact, each not wanting to cede to the other and believing their way of life superior. In 1949, the U.S., along with other European nations and Canada, created NATO. It was an agreement that an attack against one country was an attack on them all. It was a tactic to spurn communism's rise, but also to spurn another world war. However, it almost created a third. Tensions were at their height in the Cold War. Each country felt their political way of life threatened and prepared for war by amping up their military. There were many times war was close. However, as communist strongholds in Europe fell, the rest did as well. Militarization of each nation slowed down, and eventually even the USSR dissolved, becoming Russia and other independent countries. Tensions were again lowered. Today, tensions between Russia and the US are again high. Though no longer socialist, Russia is far from accepting capitalistic views, and the US is far from accepting Russia's new political system. Distrust of the US from Russia has largely stemmed from the containment sentiments it started in 1949 with the establishment of NATO. Distrust of Russia from the US has stemmed from its recent land grabs and unwarranted attacks, as in Crimea and Georgia, and its cyber meddling in the US election. Russia and the US may never see eye to eye, and may always have a power struggle due to their strongly held ideals. However, communication, mutual understanding of the other's power, and open discussions about long-term goals are key to bettering relations.